What's up, homies? It's ya boy Des. How you doing? How's the family? Well, they're going to be doing great after hearing this video because, you know the other videos that I made recently saying the mystery booster details have finally been revealed. Yeah, that was just Wizards trolling / clickbaiting / lying to us. Went from big reveal on a garbage live stream that you can't make anything out even if you squint, and then, we'll have more details Monday. It's like, okay, fine, kick the can down the road, cool. Monday rolls around. Yeah, this is kind of what's in it, but we're not really going to tell you what's in it. Gavin's going to give you an article about that in the near future. So now, wait, here we are. Gavin's giving us some more details, and I think this is most of them, finally. But the funny thing is, he wrote a short novel about how they designed this. It's probably 5 to 10 pages. It's utterly ridiculous. And then they get to a section that I kid you not, he actually wrote, so that's a lot of backstory. If you're just interested in the raw details of how this whole thing works, here's the section for you. Yes, at this point I am. I don't care. They're like patting themselves on the back and acting like they invented the polio vaccine. It's like, everybody's calling the set a vanilla, boring, expected 5 out of 10, just absolute blah, and it resembles repacks sold on eBay. Like, you can't get much more of a lukewarm reception. I mean, I think it's neat. Chaos Draft is fun. I think it's a cool product, but like, calm down a little bit. My gosh, I don't need the entire history of your life and how all your decisions led up to creating the mystery booster. So anyway, if you're just interested in the raw details of how this thing works, here's the video for you because their articles suck. Although Gavin's showing up, freaking big pimp baller in what I can only assume off camera was like a super stretch like Cadillac painted purple with leopard print trim, rolling up to that tournament, showing up with a metal briefcase dressed like the Men in Black meets Blues Brothers. That was some legit OG shit. I mean, it's a big step up from his sweater vest that he always wears. And by always, I mean in the one video I've ever seen him in. But to me, it's always. I mean, if they're going to work the angle of look what we made, it's absolutely amazing, might as well double down on it. Might as well, make a whole thing out of it. So anyway, let's just reveal the information. So each version of the product contains 1,815 unique cards. Which ironically, if you read that statement verbatim, it's actually not correct. Each product actually contains 15 cards. So let's just proceed assuming that they meant 15 of 1,815 unique cards. Anyway, in the convention edition, because remember there's boosters that go to the conventions, aka Magic Fest, and then there's boosters that go to your store. So in the convention edition, 121 of them, FYI the 15th slot, are those playtesting cards which aren't legal for constructed play. In the in-store version that you'll actually be buying, 121 of them in the 15th slot are foils. So guaranteed foil every pack, which kind of suggests it'll cost more than $3.99, just saying. But yeah, those are cards that don't appear in the set otherwise. Although that's a given because every slot in the pack has its own 121 card sheet, as they call it. I prefer the term pool, that it pools from. So every pack will break down like the following. And FYI, I don't know if this order is front to back or not, but basically, slot 1 and 2 will be white, commons, or uncommons. Then slot 2 and 3 will be blue, commons, or uncommons. And then onward, you got black, then red, then green. So the first 10 are commons or uncommons, guaranteed 1 per color, stacked 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So in theory, you could pull 10 uncommons. So then we've got 1 multicolored common or uncommon in the 11th slot. Then we've got 1 artifact / land common or uncommon in the 12th slot. Then the 13th slot is a bit of a mystery here because it kind of contradicts what they're saying. But it's just 1 pre-M15 card. That's all they said. Now keep that in mind that they just simply said that slot is 1 card printed before M15. Then the 14th slot is 1 post-M15 card, but it's guaranteed to be a rare or mythic. So then, the 15th slot, as I stated, is either 1 playtest card or 1 guaranteed foil for the store edition. Now this huge revelation that the rare slot is basically standard masters, that's actually really interesting from a sales standpoint. Like I wouldn't say opinion of this went up, but my opinion of the sellability and potential success of this set just went up. Because if you open a Throne of Eldraine booster, what's the only thing you really care about from a value or trades perspective? I guess the foil, but then the rare or mythic. And remember, the standard booster, you have a 1 in 4 shot at a foil, although I think they upped that. I think it's 1 in 3 now. And then There's like a 19% chance of it being a rare or mythic on top of that, so yeah, don't count on it. So really, what you're looking for is the rare or mythic. That's the money card in the pack. So, in every pack of this mystery booster, there is a rare or mythic in the 14 slot that is from after M15. So guaranteed standard legal. So it could be any of the currently legal standard sets, but it's going to be one of them. So if you were to open this, there is a 100% chance that you will get a rare or mythic from standard. I mean, think about that, guys. That's pretty interesting from a sales standpoint. So this is pretty clear, except for the 13th slot. Like, what is that? Because they say some very interesting things that I assume contradict everything. But basically, he says each of the dedicated color slots, multicolored and artifact land slots, so the first 12, has a long list of possible common or uncommon options. This includes, by the way, cards that may have been upgraded in the future. He means in the past, and also he means downgraded. For example, Demonic Tutor. Well, Demonic Tutor was a mythic in Ultimate Masters, but I believe it was an uncommon in like Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, and Revised or whatever. Pretty sure. But it's just an example. So that you could find in the black common or uncommon slot. I assume the same goes for stuff that was a rare and then was dropped to common or uncommon at some point, that you might find that in maybe some of the slots. And then he says, for example, there are 242 black commons or uncommons. Each appears once on its own sheet. In every pack, one card off each sheet is dropped into the pack. This is the most straightforward. Okay, so the 13th slot can't be black. Oh, unless it's a rare or mythic. But they specifically went over their way to not say that it's a rare or mythic guaranteed. So, assuming that what he said about the black commons and uncommons is true for all the rest of the colors, the 13th card can't be any of those colors. But then what if that applies to the artifact and the lands and the multicolored slot? Well, then a pre-M15 card in slot 13 can't be anything except a rare or mythic. But then for the 14th one, they specifically said it's a rare or mythic. So what's going in the 13th slot? I think he just misspoke. I think it could be a black card. It could be a rare, a mythic, an uncommon, a common. It could be anything. Of course, I'm speculating without reading ahead. So next he says, next up is the pre-M15 slot. Yeah, I'd love to know. Cool, thanks. This is a card in the card frame before M15. I thought the last major card frame change was 7th or 8th edition or something. But they did tweak it recently, but I thought it was earlier than M15, but whatever, I'll take their word for it. So it's, whatever it is, it's printed exactly like you saw it back then. So they could go way back a couple revisions. And I've seen some of these, the pictures at the tournaments. Yeah, they're the old school card frames. So if you're into that whole old card frame thing because you like them to look like you remember, that's cool. That's not my thing. I haven't been playing that long. And I think that the card frame updates were a very positive move and helped readability. So yeah, anyway, he does say many of these are rares, and even some that aren't are exciting throwbacks like Lotus Petal, which strangely is not a rare. And that's all he says about it, so maybe it's 95% rare, and the couple colored cards are just not common and uncommon, and the ones that aren't rare are colorless or something? I'm just going to assume he misspoke and that there's more than 242 black cards in the set. Anyway, next is the post-M15 rare or mythic. These are security stamped rares, so it's got the little hollow foil thingy in the bottom. I assume that's what they mean. From M15 onward. But they can be from anywhere, so Commander decks, Battle Bond, and so on. Okay, I guess I was completely mistaken in saying that they're guaranteed to be standard legal. Whoops. I guess when they said M15 onward, they literally meant exactly chronologically M15 onward. Boy, I should have thought of that. Oh well. So it's likely to be standard legal, but not guaranteed. And finally, we get to the last slot. Those past 14 cards are all identical between Convention and Store editions, but we talked about the differences above. But to reiterate, the Convention booster has a playtest card, while the Store edition has a completely separate foil sheet of 121 cards. All of these cards look exactly like they did when they were originally printed, frame and all. So you might get old frames, you might get new ones. It could be anything. This is the big way we managed to get this many cards in the set. I mean, you can make them look like however you want. I don't really get how one thing leads to another in that sentence, but okay. The one difference, of course, being the Planeswalker symbol in the bottom left corner. And yeah, considering they repeated the original, 25 out of 156, whatever, collector number on the bottom, which I feel like they should not have done, there would otherwise be no way to distinguish these as 2019 reprints. So I'm glad they did that, or I'm not kidding. There would be no way to identify these cards other than, oh, that kind of looks like the new ink and paper, sort of. I mean, they're basically faking the set symbol. It's the original set symbol in the middle right. So, yeah, I'm glad they identified them as reprints. Otherwise, people would be trying to pass them off as the original version. Oh, this is interesting. They actually list these. Holy cow. So he says, what exactly do these sheets look like? Well, you can go look at the card list to see everything in the set, but I know what the big questions on your minds are. What are the rares, mythics, and pre-M15 frame cards I can open? Well, here's all of this in one place for you. And then they have a little click here to expand thing, and he says, well, here's all the post-M15 rares and mythics you can open in your booster, one per booster, and of course there's, I believe, 121 if the math holds up. And I'm not going to read them all here. Go look at Daily MTG and click on the latest article to see it. But here we go. The pre-M15 cards. I mean, we've got like Avalanche Riders. That's a time-shifted purple rarity. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think that there was only 4 rarities in the game? Nope, there's also purple rarity. It's above Mythic, arguably. We got Belby's Portal, Black Knight, Dothy Mind Ripper. We got Knight of the Dawn, Maelstrom Archangel. So some pretty old stuff. Mana Tithe, by the way, that's a fun one. That card's insane. And, okay, yeah, he was wrong. The card Perish is in here. That is a black uncommon. He stated in no uncertain terms that this product has 242 black commons and uncommons in it. Well, it's 243 if you include that card. So I was right. He just simply misspoke. You could get a black common or uncommon in here. Now, looking at these, most of these are rare or mythic, though. So that's kind of neat. Oh, hey, Hurricane is in here, but it's on the green card frame. Oh, they didn't go with the blue card frame for that one. Okay. So there's some pretty wild stuff in there. Like Wild Nicodle is in there. That's worth some money. Yeah, pretty wild stuff. Very random assortment. Very, very odd. No real rhyme or reason or pattern to it other than I guess the category was, hey, this needs a reprint, or hey, this would be kind of fun in draft. And I've noticed a lot of the cards that they chose have very wide interactions. So they're saying Chaos Draft, like, ooh, anything could happen. Oh, no central theme or synergy. And then they go and print something that, like, works with, like, all lands. Yeah, if you print a card that says whenever a land enters play, do this, you're going to get some synergy there. You don't need 2 cards to match up. You're going to have lands in your deck. So I think if that kind of stuff holds out, you'll be able to draft some pretty wild, powerful stuff instead of like the most vanilla, blah, do-nothing deck, which at that power level is kind of not fun. So now that we finally know what's in here, I think money-wise, this is going to be very, very lucrative, but I also feel like with what they're putting in here, we're probably looking at another $6.99 a booster kind of thing. I mean, we'll find out, but it really looks like it. But I mean, looking at the list right now and the unbelievable draft experience and the amount of like time and effort that they made to make this a good draft experience, like probably even better than draft specific sets like Battle Bond and Conspiracy too. To buy this product and sit on it sealed actually seems pretty smart right now, depending upon the price, and to buy it to open it for singles value, it looks like it's probably worth the price. But that all comes down to what is the price. So that's the make or break here. If they try and get $9.99 for each of these, nobody's going to be able to afford to draft it, which is why I think they didn't do that. And I just can't imagine how people would lose their minds if this was $3.99, like a normal standard product. But Battle Bond and Conspiracy were $3.99 a boosters. So, oh, this will be interesting. And then the fact that there is no MSRP and they're not going to say anything about it, I'll have to like get some insider information from a distributor. Actually, why don't I just do that right now? Hold on, let me log in. Okay, there are 131 products from Wizards of the Coast currently for sale, and this is none of them, so we don't have a listing for it yet. But let's not waste a trip here. Looks like Theros Beyond Death, the booster boxes are up to just short of $85 a box cost. Ouch. Jeez, those things used to be like $77 and change. Ugh, that's a hell of a price hike. I heard it was bad. I didn't know it was that bad. And then the collector booster, those boxes are $171.24 cost. But that is the furthest out in the timeline I can go at the moment. But once I get cost information, I'll let you guys know. Oh, by the way, Mana Crypt is in the 14th slot. And the one thing they didn't say is, are there exact even odds? So, like, for every 1 Mana Crypt, there's 1 Fibblethip, there's 1 Coat of Arms, there's 1 Boom Pile, there's 1 Caged Sun. Or is there, like, basically 2 to 1? Like, are they printing the less valuable rares and mythics in that slot, like twice. Like for every one sheet that contains Mana Crypt, there's 2 sheets that contain the crappy half of the 121. I mean, the fact that he said sheet makes me think that no, it's even odds, which means that every booster has a 1 in 121 shot of pulling a Mana Crypt, which means that you'll have a $200 bill on average every 121 packs, which means that every individual pack is benefited just by that one card by $1.65. And trust me, the math on that is exactly how it works. People say that's not how it works. That is how it works. If you were to open 10,000 boosters in a row, you would get X amount of $200 bills. But then if it were to be magically somehow split up, like you pull a little 121st piece of a Mana Crypt and then you put them all together into one, and every piece is worth $1.65, that's the exact same math, the exact same result. So that is how it works. So with that in mind, the one thing I want to save to last, because this is pretty wild. Okay, you know how I made a top 10 list video of like the top 10 most expensive cards in the set? If you take just those 10 cards and calculate their prevalence at 1 out of 121, assuming it's even odds like I said, and just look at their contribution to the potential opening value, so ignoring the other 1,690 cards or whatever, just these 10 cards alone make every booster worth bare minimum $3.98. Now that's if they all hold their prices, and with, so many unique cards in here, the print volume of each individual card is going to be really low, but they're still going to go down when the supply hits a little bit. Sometimes in some cases 50%, like a $40 card will hit 20 just because it was reprinted in a small amount. And a lot of these top cards have never had a reprint. But still, 10 cards out of, I guess 1,800 would be the more correct number, alone represent $4 a booster. That's crazy, and that looks pretty good for the potential opening value of this. So if you wanted one reason to get excited about opening these, yeah, $4 a booster, there's your excitement. I'm hoping they don't now cost $7 a booster, but I bet they do. But then keep in mind we have, the entire rest of the rare and mythic pool and the foil. And the 13th slot is mostly rare or mythic, so you're guaranteed a foil, and then it's basically a double rare slot. So, you know what? I bet these are $9.99 a booster. I mean, because if you think about it, that's like potentially more value and more good pulls than a master set, and those once ever sold for under $9.99 a booster. In fact, UMA was what, 12? But of course, $100 per box on average was the box topper. So it actually was $9.99 a booster. Anyway, boy, I can't wait to see what they price this at. That's the big mystery here. I'm sure it'll be revealed eventually. I mean, we're like 5 months out from the release of this or something, so it might be a while, but as soon as I know something, which I guarantee you within 3 months I'll know the price of it, just FYI, I will definitely make a follow-up video on that. So, wow, what do you guys think of all this? Leave a comment down below, and if you think my math, my breakdown, and all the cool information in this very helpful video was very helpful, leave a big old thumbs up on it, and don't forget to subscribe. Or don't, because I already promised everybody I'd do something absolutely crazy at 50K, and I don't want to do it because it's going to be kind of expensive. So regardless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.